greetings from Trey's Gaff once more. In attendance we have Nigel and we have Trey on my left, obviously because I've just said Trey's Gaff and she lives here. Unless of course she's moved out before we actually came here to do the podcast, in which case we're just doing it on our own, Nigel.
Yeah, we could do it on our own.
This is our final podcast on this subject because we've reached what I would say is the zenith of milestones, and that is Nigel's current situation. And we're going to bring in the lockdowns, how Nigel's coping with that. We touched on that last week, coping mechanisms and strategies. But we're also going to look at the effects of the estrangement between Jacqueline and Nigel in relation to their relationship, and how it's changed since Jacqueline became unwell. And that's gone back quite a while now, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But I think it's become more acute for Nigel and Jacqueline because of the lockdowns. And more recently, Nigel's been unable to go to see Jackie because of said lockdowns. So we're going to touch on that, and we're also going to broaden it out a wee bit. Trey's going to broaden it out, aren't you, Trey? In relation to how it's affected everybody, really.
Yeah.
Changed the whole dynamic of society, really. And the way things are going now, and the way that this pathetic Tory government are going, and the bowing to pressure, it looks like we're going to be relieving things again, we're going to be lifting things, and then people are going to think, oh, that's okay, we can do that now. Then we go back to where we were before. So I'm hoping it doesn't go that way, but hey, because we can't stay under this cloud for much longer, can we, really?
No.
It's getting a bit silly now. When you mentioned this morning, Nigel, about we saw the X5, was it, that was coming out or in?
Out.
Yeah, it was going to Penrith.
Yes, it was.
And Nigel said it's quite a long time since I've
gone out that way.
Way, and it's safe for a lot of people now, travelling. You're less inclined to travel because of the situation. And just maybe one bus journey every so often can, be quite nice and enjoyable and relaxing. So, won't go too deeply, Nigel, because
no, definitely not.
It's not a good subject for you. But do you want to tell the listeners how the lockdown and the estrangement with Jacqueline, and I don't mean estrangement in the sense where you're both separated and gone different ways. I just mean you can't spend the quality time we used to spend together. You spent a lot of time together where you would go for coffees and things.
Oh yeah, we did, yeah.
I think Speedway in the early days, you used to go to Speedway.
Yes.
And the odd meal as well.
Went for meals as well.
Yeah. So tell the listeners how things have changed now then for you since Jacqueline became unwell, which is quite a while ago, isn't it?
It was a while, yeah. It has been a while since us when you got ill there.
And, is she getting any better? Is it just kind of stuck in one condition now where she doesn't really do a great deal?
Yeah, I'd say she's stuck in that position and stuff where she can't get out. Well, not exactly get out, but she can't just get up out of bed, get sorted out and go somewhere.
Which she used to do. When,
she used to do, but she can't do that now. If she wants to get up and she has to have help from the staff, and they basically, not basically, but they do things for her now. Yeah,
like the personal hygiene and showers and
stuff things, like that. Yeah,
and getting dressed.
Yes, they staff all do that now.
So basically, her independence has gone.
Yes, it has. Yeah.
And I remember, as you well do as well, Nigel, that Jacqueline was always a bubbly, feisty, female who loved life, basically.
She did.
And of course, when she met Nigel, the whole world just kind of opened up. She became this different person.
She did, yeah.
She used to say to me, I really enjoy life now, Harry, because Nigel's really good to me, Not mention chocolate, Nigel.
I'll give it to somebody else now. So.
That's right. Don't listen to this, Jacqueline.
Oh, no.
So, now she's lost that independence. How have things changed for you, Nigel? Because you feel for Jacqueline, obviously, because she's in that situation. How's it made you feel? Any emotions you've felt since things have changed massively for her and you?
It did upset me at the time when I couldn't go and see her and then go somewhere with her, like meals or go on a train or the bus.
And come back to your flat as well?
Come back to the flat as well and all go down and see Jacqueline.
That's right, you used to go to working as well, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, I used to go to where she used to live and just go and see her at where she used to live.
Was that Glebe, Nigel, when she got her own place?
It was Glebe. Well, it was both.
Yeah.
It was both places.
Because on her own, she wasn't in that place that long, was she really?
No, she wasn't.
Which we'd mentioned before, haven't we, sadly. So, how have you coped? And this is the thing I think that people need to hear, because I do think that you have been really strong, and it's to your credit as well, because you're not only living with your own issues, this comes along and then lockdowns come along, yeah, but you're still doing the business,
yeah,
and that shows a lot of mental strength, a lot of willpower to push on. I think that's the message that needs to go out to people, because not everybody does have that, but you clearly have in abundance. What things have you done and we touched on it a little bit last time, I think, and the time before, what things have you done since the upset to try to cope with that loss? It is a loss, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a loss, yeah.
The loss of that time and that relationship. What things have you done to cope with that, Nigel? To go over the upset? Not that the upset will go away, of course.
No, it won't, no.
Have you learned to live with it? Is it something that you've just kind of put to one side and think, well, okay, I can't do a good deal about that, I'll just need to push on? And do you have any hope there that she's going to get better? Is that something you've accepted, she's going to stay the same?
Well, yeah.
Is there any glimmer of hope there? You think, well, maybe in time Jacqueline will get a lot better and maybe we'll be able to get back to where we were? Has that ever crossed your mind?
Yeah, it has. But I don't.
Sorry, Nigel, go on. Or do you think that perhaps you've also kind of accepted that maybe this is how it's going to be?
Yeah. I've accepted that as well. It's just.
Is that easier for you to not have that possibly false hope? Is it easier just to accept that, okay, yeah, it looks like it's going to be that way for quite a while and I also need to roll with that? Or do you still have days where you just hope she's going to get better?
Well, I think it's both. It's part of both. I hope she gets better, but...
Well, it's a tough one, Nigel. It's one which...
It is tough.
I do often, feel for you, because it's not something that can be rectified overnight. It's not something that, you can just push to one side and just hope it goes away. Because every time you go and see her, or every time you talk to her on the phone, you revisit where you used to be.
Yeah, definitely.
And it isn't that way anymore.
No.
So Jacqueline's in that situation.
Yes, she is, yeah.
She's pretty kind of, what can you call it? She can't walk to places, she can't run to places, she can't climb, do things that most people do that aren't in that situation. And then she's got a lot of time in the quiet of her own space where she's thinking.
Yeah.
And she's thinking, oh, Nigel's okay because he can get out and about and I'm stuck here. And that must be something you've touched on at any point in time when you've talked. Does she worry about you maybe giving up on her?
Well, I don't think it's been mentioned now. I don't think it's been anything's...
Yeah, because you probably both satelliting around the actual discussion.
I think we have.
Because it's quite a hard... And I know in the early days we used to spend a lot of time together working through relationship stuff with Jacqueline, yourself and Fiona.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that you either didn't know how to deal with it or you were kind of frightened of approaching it. Then we used to hit it head on, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Which was quite funny in certain respects. Things like Jacqueline ringing you up and, Christ, that's bloody 17 times today.
Yeah.
But we got through all that, and that's because she missed you and you missed her as well, but you wanted your space.
Yeah,
but there was times she wanted her space as well.
Too right, yeah.
You know, so
did I?
It's not something that is good for your mental health, is it?
No.
Yours or Jacqueline's? So
No.
let's open this up anywhere, because I'm going to cut across to train. No, not cut across, because that's pretty much like using scissors to get across to where I'm going. I know where that comes from. I told you, cut across. Yeah, let's cut across there. We're going to look at the broader effects now of these lockdowns, because other people with bad relationship problems as well. People have lost people, people have died and things. It's affected a lot of families, and it's affected businesses have gone under, so that's affected someone's mental health and their income. So how do you think society, whether it be local society or in general, are coping with these perpetual lockdowns straight in relation to mental health?
And
personalised it to you as well.
Yeah, I have witnessed, or I've had it said to me, that people are finding it difficult. It's almost like they're lost. They have no routine and no focus. And I've noticed it because I write to people, my imaginary friends. I've had pen friends. Friends for years, and I've noticed in their letters, it's almost like they can't think of anything much to write about. Oh, well, the weather's this, and I've been shopping now and again, and with the restrictions I haven't been doing anything, and it's almost like they're stuck in a rut. And I see that quite a bit. I hear it, online, or if I chat with people, it comes up.
Well, we touched on humankind, didn't we, last time? Although you two probably don't remember. It's human to want to connect to other humans.
Yeah.
And when you remove all the things that connected you to other humans, it has a massive effect on your mental health. Unless you're weird and crazy like me, who actually enjoys time away from that. Although you do to a certain extent as well. That alone time is good, but then you need to have some connection, because such as Robinson Crusoe situation where you went bananas on the island there, because I think was it Man Friday came along, if you remember the story.
Yeah.
It's not good to be isolated. A lot of people become isolated because of the lockdowns. And you mentioned about routine and structure.
Yeah.
How does that sit with you, Nigel? Because it changed everything when these lockdowns came along. Because you had a slightly different routine, a slightly different structure. How did that affect you? How did it change massively? We mentioned about the buses at one time, didn't we, earlier on?
Yeah, just not being able to travel as much as I used to.
And what was it about the travel that was therapeutic for you?
Well, just going to different places on the bus or the train.
And did you experience things on the bus and the train when you were out and about? Did you meet people?
Yeah, I met some people and I got some help off some staff as well. And there was a guy I met, an Irish guy. He works down in Kendal and used to help me with the buses. And I used to tell him maybe once, sometimes, and one summer he asked me, "Are you here again? You're always thinking down here, you."
But did you see how you perked up there? Because you were mentioning about people that you connected to when you were out and about. Yeah. And you started to smile there when you were. And this is about experiences as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And when you remove experiences and you're kind of in the part of your own space, more than ever before, you're losing those experiences, and it's those experiences that enable humans to become more relaxed and calm and happy and joyful or whatever. Not all the time, obviously, because you'd probably think that person's crazy because they're always laughing, which is actually me. But yeah, it's. I know we discussed this before. We mentioned, I'm going to mention anyway, badge cap and crew. Yeah, Nigel, whilst commuting on the buses,
Aye.
he had a gang.
There was a gang, yeah.
Yeah, there was a gang, and there were a gang of likewise people with Nigel. They used to travel the countryside on buses,
Yeah, they did, aye.
and Nigel denied all knowledge of knowing them and interacting with them. Although we knew he did.
remember Treegate.
Yep, tree gate. Yep. There's a tree down. There's a tree down.
All to the front of the bus.
And Nigel.
There's a car upside down.
Nigel got up and went. But however eccentric that may sound, part of the reason why I got Nigel a bus pass in the early days was because it was for the therapeutic aspect. And although he knows he can't travel around 24/7 on the buses all the time, it actually did trigger off experiences. I mean, even just a tree that day.
Yeah.
It's a memory. It was quite funny. and you know, there was that chap that used to sit with badge cap.
Ah, yeah.
And badge cap would sit there with his badge cap on and holding court, wasn't he?
He was, aye.
And then there was David.
That one, yeah. The glasses. That was the one with the glasses.
And then there was Flat Cap.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Flat Cap? He used to go and sit with people and annoy the hell out of them.
Yeah, he knew everybody but didn't know anybody.
Aye.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember him, yeah.
Yeah. There's a tree down, Nigel. There's a tree down. There's a tree down, Nigel. There's a tree down. It's just like ripple effect.
It did.
And I think that Flat Cap Man was actually the leader of the gang.
I think he was. I don't remember.
I think Badge Cap was in the wings waiting because he really wanted to be the leader, didn't he?
I think he did, because he was the...
There was laughter sitting in the background. Yeah, there's a tree down there, tree down there. Nigel, tree down there.
Aye.
But that, however eccentric and however we're laughing, that was pretty much a social thing for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, aye.
And although Nigel distanced himself from the gang when we were around, when he actually travelled on the buses, Nigel was part of that gang. Weren't you, Nigel?
Yeah.
And it was company, because a lot of people living the kind of lives that Nigel lives are quite lonely. And they haven't got a big friends network.
Yeah.
And as I said before, however eccentric and off the wall that was, it was still connection with people, wasn't it? That was gone. I don't doubt that Badge Cap and Flat Cap and all the rest are probably still travelling around on the buses. Oh, they've all got coronavirus and died. In which case, when you do get back to normal, so there'll be nobody to interact with. But anyway, we've diversified, haven't we? Trey was on about the effects on people and the removal of structure and routine and how it's important to your mental health. Do you want to add anything else to that, Trey?
I think from my experience of talking to other people, they find it difficult to find things that to do that focuses them and makes them feel happy. They seem to be they come up with, well, I've lost my mojo, and even the things they used to like, that kind of like, I haven't done it for ages. There's only maybe the odd one person I know that's still quite focused on what they enjoy, and it's probably changed the way they think about those things and why they did them. Maybe they didn't do them for the right reasons, or it wasn't something they really enjoyed. I don't know, but it is. You do notice it a bit.
So that highlights for me anyway that we tend to live our lives in response to or in relation to exterior stimuli, and we don't really spend the time getting to know ourselves, going within, as I always call it, and just learning to just be at one with yourself and maybe potter about the garden, or you feed the birds, or you just stand and watch the world go by. Suddenly it's there and you've got to deal with it. And you struggled with that in the early days. I was trying to find something to do and get some structure back, a routine. You had your housekeeping structure to adhere to, but it wasn't quite the same as travelling around the countryside with Pascal. Was it? Gary would struggle as well, in his pad. And many more. I mean, Aiden's probably struggled as well. It completely turned everything upside down, didn't it?
Yeah.
And if you weren't kind of together at that time, you know, with your own mental health, it pushed it further down.
Did you?
I mean, I found it quite bizarre, but I was lucky because I spent a lot of time on my own anyway, you know, and I was used to that. I like that peace and solitude.
Yeah.
But for people who like to have lots of friends, there's that with lasses and lads or whatever, suddenly it's gone.
It's I noticed as well the people who have like families and spent all their time with the family or the grandchildren or whatever. I noticed they struggled as well.
Yeah.
You see a lot of it on the groups online that I'm in.
I've seen it, yeah, and of course that's probably because, well, it isn't probably, it is, because these members of the family lived their lives and defined their lives to the children and the grandchildren. And, you know, with the greatest respect, that is not the way to do it.
No.
Because, you know, your family are individuals and they have the right to that time. You know, I mean, and constantly going down to your mum's house every day or your dad's house every day or whatever, you know, they're probably only saying, oh yeah, it's all right, yeah, well, you sure now? And actually saying, well, fuck off, I'm sick of seeing you. You know, and so that has changed massively. But again, that's another learning curve. Maybe they realise, well, actually, what have I got? Because I can't go and see me grandkids or my mum, so what have I actually got? So a lot of people have actually suddenly had to face who they are.
Yeah.
And how their life's gone as well. A lot of relationships have broken up through these lockdowns because people have had to spend more time with each other and had to tolerate the idiosyncrasies of each other, which they kind of just rolled with before. A lot of divorces now because of the lockdowns. A lot of people are getting divorced, which is not a bad thing because he's probably highlighting what was wrong anyway.
Exactly.
Because it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Nigel? Have you noticed any difference in how people have been when you've been out to how they used to be when you used to go out before lockdowns? Have you noticed anything at all about people? Anything stood out for you? How people relate to each other?
No, I've noticed, no. I don't think so, no.
No? You said you'd noticed that people changed in some way. Do you want to highlight that?
They tend to, I mean, I'm seeing two different ways. One, they tend to speak loudly and be over animated or even angry. I see a lot of that. But then there's another side where they wander around like zombies and it's almost like they don't connect to anything that's going on.
Have you noticed that, Nigel?
Yeah, it's like two extremes.
Yeah, I notice sometimes, well, at weekends mainly. If I'm going for a coffee or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has lifted the volume, and that's partly to do with anxiety as well. But I've also seen, me personally, a lot more anger.
Yeah.
I've seen it in the driving, because obviously I drive. I've seen it in supermarkets. I've seen it in everyday life where the smallest thing that someone does or doesn't do can really annoy somebody else, and you can see it in their face. You know, a simple thing like going into a supermarket where you've got an older person in front of you. I think I mentioned this some time back. You know, I would just wait and let this person get in because obviously clearly they can't walk as fast. I see people literally kind of barging past because they've got to get in.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's a lack of patience. And that's anger as well. There's a lot more of that around. One thing I know has grown is the domestic abuse and child abuse. I don't just mean sexual, I mean, you know, people's aggression, lashing out. So that's grown, and we sadly haven't got the services to care for that, which is something the Tories have dealt with. Obviously, strip that back. We'll cut that back there, but we'll give so and so a backhander for whatever. So you know, we can't even meet that need now.
Well, also I've noticed people. I mean, I noticed it before. We sometimes people are wandering around. They don't really know, but where they're at. But it seems to be more now. You see,
I mean, I've caught it
spaced out.
I mean, I've caught the zombie effect, and Nigel's noticed it as well. And that is pretty much because they've lost the compass. You know, where once I'm going for my paper, then I'm going to meet Joe. That was your thing last week, Nigel. And then I'm going to go back and I'm having such and such for me tea, and so and so's coming down at 5 o'clock or whatever. Yeah. That's all gone. The compass is gone. So like, right, I'm going out. Like, okay, I've got my paper, so here we go. I'm seeing anybody. Must go back then. So you go back to your grot and you take that with you.
Yeah.
You know, and unless you're able to connect to something within your space, which luckily you've done now because you do your jigsaws and things.
Yeah.
And Tracy's got more into her artwork. Actually, I meant to send you a link. I've just remembered now. I need to do it later on when I get back to do what was said about the artistic side.
Yeah.
And how people perceive particular things that you do. So I think we'll round off because it's 11:30. Yep, 11:30. Any closing comments before we just sum up? No closing comments, nothing to add? Anything you want to add?
No, I, the only thing I would say, I think it will change the way people communicate more, because it'll have to. Because if people can't get together in groups, I think more people do I know they did it at first, the online things, but it wasn't very focused, I don't think. I think it needs to be more focused so people can enjoy the same activities, online courses, things you would normally go to in a cafe or in a group, because like you say, people don't have any kind of communication or focus anymore, and they don't have the interaction about their interests. I think that would be something that would be useful.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's in one side it's slowed life down a little bit, and on the other side it's actually increased the intensity.
Yeah.
And that's a dangerous place to be, because some people don't really know which pole they're at, you know.
Yeah.
I think the good thing for me is, and I know in my case, it's created a lot more introspection. People have looked at who they are, what they've got, and what kind of life they're living.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, right, I need to deal with this, because actually I've just been trudging along there and doing this and this, and out with lasses on a Friday, you know, and getting bloated, and then the following day I'm in bed till lunchtime, whatever. Suddenly they've had to look at themselves and you know, the kind of life they're living. So in some respects that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But if you're not strong enough mentally to deal with that, it could completely blow your mind. You know, and you end up, and Trey mentioned before, where you just don't know where you're at. You've lost your compass completely.
Yeah.
So anybody out there who's in that situation now, I would suggest that you look at why it's affected you and what you can do about it, because it's not easy. You know, if you're very anxious when you go out and you're very anxious when you come back in, then you've got to deal with that, because there's something wrong somewhere. And it might be worthwhile just sitting, I think I mentioned to you, Trey, as well, with a bit of paper and just writing down. You've done this before, Nigel. They used to call it brainstorm, but now it's thought shouting, because you can't say brainstorming anymore, can you? Like a lot of things you can't say anymore. Fraggle Rock's coming back as well. I mentioned that Nigel this morning.
Yeah, the Scuffles.
Remember Fraggle Rock?
I don't think
You don't know?
Written by Jim Henson, who did the Muppets.
No.
It's a pretty off the wall thing, isn't it, Nigel?
Yeah.
So diversified then to Fraggle Rock. But we were rounding off, but I was on about the brainstorming, thought showering. Just sit down with a cuppa and, you know, slow yourself down, because there's a lot of people really kind of not sure, you know, what to do.
Yeah.
A lot of that's anxiety, basically. And just write down how you're feeling. Doesn't matter how it's put down, just write it down. And get it out of your head, yeah? And then if you've got a mate, if you're lucky to have mates, because some people haven't got any mates, in which case they've just Johnny no mates. And, yeah.
It's called Johnny, yeah.
Yeah, or find a mate, you know, go on a dating website and, you know, say I need a mate, and then they murder you, sure.
Aye.
In a case.
And, you know, unlike Prince Harry, who talks about, because he likes to talk and because he's got heck all else to do, tell people to talk about it, you know, because we lost mummy and we had to talk about it and whatever else. Just have a crack with someone, you know, and share how you feel, and it might be they're feeling the same way.
Yeah.
You know, and have a look at your list and see what kind of things you put down and how you can move forward. Just I've always thought it's best to just begin it, start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a good way. And if you can't write, then use a dictaphone, because not everybody can write, can they?
No.
Not everybody can spell. So you get anxious about trying to spell a word that you try and actually help yourself to become less anxious. You can't spell that. Yeah,
Next word.
So if you get stressed about that, learn to write. Or use a dictaphone. What do you think, Nigel?
Or
Yeah.
use your phone. Record
Use your phone, yeah. And then there's badges.
Badges.
Did you read my Facebook post about badges?
Yeah, there's been quite a few, so I've got a bit stuck on which ones I'm reading. Because they're quite long.
I read a couple.
Anybody who's read them, I don't care if you're angry or upset or whatever, because it's a free society, it's a free world, and no one's getting hurt. Not the badges anywhere. The badges were getting cold, weren't they? They were getting gassed and things. Mainly on the royal lands. Don't want badges there because it'll disrupt things. So we're killing badges. So it's turned around now, and the badges now become the HRHs, His Royal Brochness. Yeah. We've now got the badges in place now. The royal family's gone.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
Yeah. And then who replaced the government? Penguins.
That's it, penguins, I remember that bit.
Yeah. And I think life will be much, much better now with badges as the royal family. Yeah. But they actually do things. They actually work.
Yeah,
the badges do work. Yeah. I knew a badger once had a job. I did.
Bit like beavers.
Yeah, the beaver away there, and he was badgering away there. You heard that word, haven't you, badgering? Yeah, well, that's what the badger was doing. He was badgering. Then there's moles. All day, moles dig.
Yeah.
They dig, yeah. And then they bump into each other because they've both gone the same way.
Yeah,
and then somebody pinches the Maori warps up above the soil that's got at the top there. And then one more says to them all, why are we doing this? That's what moles do. dig. And then you come up and you can't see. And you can't see because you're a mole, because you spend most of the time down in the dark digging.
They do, yeah.
And evolutionary, now moles can't see because they don't need to see because they're underneath digging.
Well, I actually think moles dig underneath people's gardens just to make sure that people don't fall in the hole.
Well, yeah.
Or there was tunnels that we all trip into.
Yeah, because there's, if you think about it, why does a mole dig? Why does a mole dig? Gets up in the morning, what are we going to do today, lads? Let's dig a few holes. I mean, a mole, badgers, they're good because they have earths, don't they? Is it earth, a badger? Yeah. Earths are good. but mole holes and Maori warps, I mean, people come along, I used to do it. You'd take a bucket with a little spade and you'd collect the soil because it's good soil and then you put it on your garden. So the mole's like, bloody soil, I spent all day digging this.
Yeah, you did.
And then somebody come along and said, why are you digging the hole, mole? I don't know, I'm a mole, that's what I do. So, yeah, moles, yeah, no moles. Badgers, yeah, penguins, now they're penguins. Yeah, I used to like penguins when they had chocolate on them.
Yeah, still get them. You still get them. Penguins!
Penguin just looks so black and white and it moves so well, it kind of waddles. It was also on, was it the Batman films with the penguin?
Oh, yeah, the penguin.
Yeah, it was,
yeah. So it actually was, it acted in things as well, unlike moles who just dig all day.
Yeah.
But penguins have been on that spy camera programs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they also become emperors.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
And they throw themselves off rocks and get swallowed by a killer whale.
Killer whale. But do you know any moles have become emperors?
No.
So, although, moles probably have some reason for being alive and digging holes all day. I don't know what it is. But anybody who knows the point of a mole, they're lovely little creatures, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it comes to badgers, and Badger was in Wind of the Willows.
He was. Yeah.
Badger. People cared to him for wisdom.
Yeah.
Moles, I've got time for wisdom. Dig a bloody hole, here we go.
Well, at least the chess up,
Bloody nails are knackered.
chess up all the worms and make your garden better.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I don't think that's bad.
Well, all the birds come down and nick them.
Oh, well, yeah, see, there's the purpose of them all. To push the worms up so the birds can feed.
Yeah, but the moles don't know. That's why they're doing that. They just dig.
Well, they must know it.
No one goes to the mole and says, the reason, Molly, while you're doing this is because you're chasing the worms up there and the birds are eating them, and it's like the whole ecosystem is like in overdrive.
Yeah.
See, I reckon they must know it. That's why they go in people's gardens to make sure that their gardens are nice, good soil for them, for the plants.
Possibly, unless people hire them all for that reason. You know, you hire a digger.
Oh, well, but that kind of like, it's upsetting really, because they encourage them to come in, these people. I've got really crap grass. Mole comes in, sorts the soil off and get better grass, and then they complain about having moles. Want to get rid of them?
Fair point, but where's the mole communication system? How does one contact a mole? Is there a line that you ring?
Well, I think moles just see that guy's got crap grass, they need my help.
Yeah, but moles can't see, can they?
No, but they'll know that and smell crap grass.
Unless they've got a guide dog.
Guide dog,
So the guide dog takes them across, and the gardener has a chat with the mole. And I can do that for you. Yeah. And he does a little estimate for what it's going to cost. And he goes back to his digger again, has a chat with his mates. Done a good job on here, lads. We're working on number 47 down there.
Or maybe it's the hedgehogs that tells the moles that needed in their garden.
Yeah, hedgehogs. I mean, now we're on the subject of use. You know, the hedgehog, and I know it lives in cat.
Hedgehogs have a purpose.
No, wait a minute, no. The only thing that I can think of is they spend most of the time trying to cross the road.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
Right? Now, the speed of a hedgehog and the speed of a car, right, so 60 mile an hour and maybe an hour and a yard, thereabouts.
Little tottery thing.
And he ends up in the middle of the road squashed. So what's the point?
Yeah, but hedgehogs, they kill all the bugs that attack your plants. So hedgehogs are good for plants and gardens. The only thing is, there's not as many as there used to be, and they've got all these gardens to look after. So that's why they get squashed. They run across roads trying to save everybody's gardens.
Yeah, but I've seen hedgehogs way out in the sticks where there's no gardens.
But then
they're like, let's cross this road.
The farmers then, because they eat bugs off all the crops.
Little hedgehog, how's he got great big field, great big farm, little hedgehog.
Yeah, that's why we need them. That's why it's a shame they get squashed by cars.
I just think they get run over just for the sheer hell of it.
Or they're playing,
the hell of
it. What do they play?
Oh yeah, chicken run.
Chicken run, that's it. They're playing chicken
Although
run.
it's hedgehog run.
It's hedgehogs.
Yeah, hedgehog
anyway,
run.
we've descended to the abyss of stupidity.
Yeah.
And I don't know who took us there. But if you've got any comments about moles or badgers or penguins or whatever else, that's fine. I'm quite happy to discuss that with you. But I hope that, the more serious stuff earlier on there, it can be of some use to you. And please comment if you need to, because there will be people out there struggling.
They will.
And, again, I applaud how Nigel's coped.
Yeah.
I applaud how Trey's coped, because she, from a traumatic background, she's pushed on and, left her marriage, got a new house, and look what you created.
Yeah.
So there is a way out. Just keep pushing on. And I think on that note,
Yep.
is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.